I have a story to share with you tonight called Truckin' on the Sky Highway. You see, Celine was a driver for the Titanic Trucking Company. She loved it. It was a family business, but she really enjoyed being out there on the open road driving. Her father had orders for her to take one of those big spotlights like they use at used car dealerships or exciting events, put it on the back of the truck and drive it down the sky highway all the way to the coast. And she just loved doing that. She loved the freedom of it. She loved that feeling of being a wild and lonely driver. Her sister Dawn would call her and say, "Oh, now listen here, Celine. You need to find a man and settle down." Selena just laughed. "I have more on the road than you will ever have." In fact, tonight she was really looking forward to something novel that she'd heard about. Uh, about midway down the Sky Highway at the Latimer, Texas truck stop called The Cave, she'd heard there was going to be a rave in the back and that they had something there that was magic. Now, Selena didn't talk about it much, but her whole family was magic. And she wanted to see if this was connected to her family's magic. So she pulled into the cave and she filled up her big tank and she went around back to where Rosie, the daughter of the owner, had a small cafe usually. But tonight there was a rave. Now, situations being what it was a different kind of rave. The black light was UV lights, and everybody had their own glass booth to dance in. You could pay extra if you wanted to be near the front of the room where the novelty item was laid out. Celine went in and saw that there in the glass booth in the front of the room, lit by UV lights, just like Snow White, there was someone laid out. But he was not Snow White. His dark curly hair was glistening in the lights, and he looked like he had been asleep for 100 years already. She paid extra to get up close and danced all night next to the booth. Well, when everyone had left, Rosie told her, "If you don't want to stretch out in your rig tonight, you can stay here." And Celine said, "Yes, I will." When everyone had gone, she went over to that glass coffin where the young man was laid out. The fringes that went down in the little hollows on his face. His lashes looked like caterpillars. His skin looked so soft. She opened the door and reached in. Oh, she could smell her family's magic on this one. But he didn't wake up. She raised her hand toward the sky and touched him again, and his eyes flew open, green as grass. "Who are you?" "I'm Celine," she said. "And what would your name be?" "I'm Jimmyon." "Well, Jimmyon," she said, "it's nice to meet you. Why don't you come with me in my rig?" And she took him right out of that place. And they spent, well, nearly a month together. And that big light down the sky highway did not travel. They stayed there in Latimer, Texas, behind the cave. One morning, Celine got a call from her daddy. "How come that truck hasn't been out?" "I found a distraction." "I know that boy. You ask him." what kind of a deal he made with me. Celine hung up the phone and she went to find Dimion, and there he was in the bathroom looking at his fine self in the mirror, plucking a gray hair in horror. And then she knew. You made a deal with my daddy, didn't you? To sleep and never age? Dimion nodded. Well, you choose now. You can stay with me and age from here on out, or you can go back to sleep and stay forever young and beautiful. Celine's heart about broke. She could see the answer in those green grass eyes. She tucked him back into his glass coffin. But she hauled the whole thing into the back of her rig. And even though she travels the sky highway now with that big light, every 28 days or so, she turns it off and she just looks at that beautiful, beautiful man. Celine and Dimion, a retelling of the Greek myth. Thank you.